Well, this video is gonna go well. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to tackle a really important issue that's been brewing in the gaming world, which is Krafton's latest project, inZOI. Krafton's approach to integrating generative AI into almost every aspect of the game's development is raising serious questions. Stick around as we break down what is really going on behind the scenes and what it means for the future of gaming. We'll dive into the details and explore why this matters so much. But before we get into it, let me introduce myself. I'm Jennifer Hachia, and on this channel, we delve into ASMR, storytelling, commentary, gameplay videos, speed builds, casts, content, and so much more. So if any of this sounds like your kind of content, feel free to hit subscribe. And if you're already a regular viewer, hello again. So now let's get into it. So before I begin, I just want to say this is not a video that I was planning on making, but it is something that, ethically speaking, I just cannot ignore anymore because I've been noticing it, and I've been also noticing that people are still staying very silent about it, and it's something that I feel very strongly about as well. So I figured, why not actually make this my first commentary video in the channel, which it's just a coincidence, but while we're at it, let me just talk about something since I'm so passionate about it as well and its implications in the world we live in today. If you've been following me on social media, you know that I've been pretty enthusiastic about inZOI, the latest game from Krafton. They are the same studio behind PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, so they announced this new project. I was on board. But after digging deeper into how Krafton has been developing inZOI, I've come across some information that has really changed my perspective. I feel like it is important to be upfront about why I will no longer support or endorse this game or Krafton really as a whole. So who is Krafton? Well, Krafton is a South Korean video game developer and publisher founded as Bluehole in 2007. Just for you to have an idea of how big Krafton really is, Krafton isn't this small indie developer that is just starting out, mom and pop shop or owned by, these college students that are just starting out. No, the CEO of this game is Kim Sang-hun, and he is one of the 7 gaming billionaires in South Korea. So Krafton talks a big game because they are a big game. So this is something that we need to take into consideration when we are thinking about this and looking at this. And generative AI, as powerful as it is, it comes with serious, very serious ethical concerns, especially in the context of how it's being used by big studios, such as Krafton. Also remember that the data that feeds these AI models often comes from us, the users, whether it's our gameplay data, our preferences, or even the artwork and code created by real developers. It's a process that feels, frankly, dystopian. Over the years, Krafton has evolved into a prominent player in the gaming industry, continually pushing the envelope with new technology and innovative game designs. And their latest project, inZOI, is a clear example of their ambition to blend in gaming with cutting-edge technology, including AI. This is where the concerns come in for me. Krafton's heavy reliance on generative AI, or Gen AI, in their game development process. From what I've gathered, they use AI not only in design, but also narrative development, character creation, environment building, and even music. When I'm talking about generative AI, I'm actually talking about, for example, you can use generative AI to create textures for the clothing of your ZOIs. You can use generative AI to generate actually artwork in the build and buy. You can use generative AI to create objects. Apparently that's going to be a thing as well. So yeah, it's everywhere. It's everywhere and it freaks me out. And not in a way, like, I'm not gonna have nightmares about this, but it freaks me out in terms of, it makes me sad. Really. It freaks me out because it makes me sad. If that makes any sense. What does freak me out though is Anna, their virtual model that streams. I mean, why?
A virtual model that streams. It's not even a cartoon. It's actually trying to be a person.
There's a video where she is gaming and she says that she's gonna have a heart attack. And she puts her hand on her chest and she's like, ah, you know? You're a virtual model. You quite literally do not have a heart. And one of the biggest issues that I have with this is how it undermines. These are people that have honed their skills for years, if not decades, and suddenly they're being replaced or overshadowed by AI. And that work, all of it, decades of work, can just be churned out in minutes. And this is not, you know, some conspiracy theory or hypothetical. No, this is happening right now. And in my opinion, I've always believed that gaming is about the people who create it, the people who play, the people who connect through these experiences. I have met one of my best friends in the gaming community, and so when you take out the human element, you sort of lose the soul of what makes a game great, because undoubtedly inZOI looks absolutely fantastic, amazing. It is everything that most people that love Sims games, life simulation games, would dream of, and it's right there, you know, almost being released. But we have to look at these concerns and think critically before making decisions. And we most definitely, although it's not very customary, we do need to take a look at the terms and services that we are agreeing to before we give out our data so easily. Because ultimately, using generative AI in gaming is not only changing how games are made, but it's changing the industry in a way that hurts people that have built it from the ground up since the beginning of time in the gaming world. Job markets are tightening and opportunities are shrinking as we speak. And the last thing we need is for more people to be pushed out of their careers by AI. And it's not just about losing the jobs, but it's also about losing opportunities for future generations of developers and artists, real artists, not AI streamers or virtual models. No, real people that have dreams, real people that want to do something with their lives, real people that want to achieve something. Unfortunately, as much as I was really stoked about inZOI, and I'm not going to be hypocritical here, I did try inZOI, and this is why it has raised all these red flags for me, because I was trying the free character creation trial thing that is going on now in this week. These red flags just kept popping. Something just felt off, almost kind of soulless about it, as much as there are beautiful, amazing things that have been done by the developers, by real people as well. It is just the ethical concerns that really, they stress me out. inZOI could be exactly as it is, but without the generative AI. And it would be very close to an ideal game. I mean, I haven't tried the gameplay, but you know, it really, the character creation is really cool. And as much as I would love to just, you know, I'm not paying for it, so why not keep playing? As much as I would like to think that way and just keep trying it out and, you know, creating content, trying out the game and posting it on YouTube, my channel, this channel here is very small. So, you know, if I posted some inZOI content, I would probably gain a lot of traction because inZOI is in vogue right now. But in good conscience, I just can't support a company that relies so heavily in generative AI, especially when it actually has impact in real people. While this might seem like an incredible technological advancement, it also raises serious ethical concerns. Generative AI is trained on data that often includes existing creative work. And according to the World Economic Forum's 2023 report, AI and automation could displace up to 85 million jobs globally by 2025, with a significant portion of these impacts felt in creative industries like gaming and digital art. About 40% of tasks in these fields are susceptible to automation, which raises concern about job loss and diminished opportunities for human developers and artists. As noted in a PwC report, the reliance on AI in creative fields is becoming very widespread. Over 60% of companies in the entertainment and media sectors are incorporating AI into their workflows. And krafton's development not only of inZOI and other games, but also Anna, an AI-generated virtual singer, exemplifies how AI is used to replace human creativity. So, still talking about Anna, I want to read a little snippet of a release regarding the virtual human, and tell me if this doesn't sound dystopian to you. krafton's virtual human, Anna, makes her debut as a music artist with the release of her first single. Captured using Anna's unique AI voice, the original song was created in collaboration with H1GHR Music's Cha Cha Malone. Following her full reveal by krafton last month, virtual influencer Anna has made her official debut as a music artist with the global release with her first single, Shine Bright. Shine Bright is available now across digital music streaming platforms worldwide. Earlier this year, krafton, the company best known for the battle royale shooter PUBG, so PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, unveiled what it described as hyper-realistic virtual human. Alongside those first images and details were some big plans to turn Anna, as she's known, into a virtual star. Now we can see what that looks like with a brand new music video. Oh, she sneezes on the music video. Yeah, because she's a human, right? krafton claims that Anna's singing, meanwhile, is completely artificial intelligence driven. The company is hoping to turn Anna into a global pop star. So this is what we're working with, guys. This is what we're working with. So while it is undeniably a technological advancement and achievement, it prompts questions about the impact on real artists and performers. Now, some people might argue about this, but I believe that the human element in gaming is crucial. By leaning heavily on AI, companies like krafton risk undermining the creative community that has built this industry up. This is a concern that becomes even more amplified, taking into account the current economic climate, where job security is already a pressing issue. I also need to address recent developments involving YouTubers who are playtesting inZOI. For clarity, one Twitter, a cotton sock, mentioned receiving a computer to play test the game, but did not specify whether this was a permanent gift or if it had to be returned. In a YouTube video, another YouTuber, Emma Nicole, confirmed receiving a computer to test the game. And when she was asked in the comment section if she got to keep the computer, she answered affirmatively and expressed gratitude. Other YouTubers who have tested inZOI, however, have generally only mentioned receiving a copy of the game without really clarifying if they were provided a computer for testing purposes or even gifted one. But when we look back at Okazaki post regarding receiving a computer, we can see that she said us. So this is a little bit ambiguous, but it makes us question a lot of things. So you could play the devil's advocate and say that maybe I'm just mentioning this because I'm jealous. Well, and I would say that in this video, we are not discussing the jealousy aspect of any of this. We are discussing ethics and the transparency. And the transparency about receiving this kind of gifts or equipment has clearly varied from YouTuber to YouTuber. And this lack of clarity can affect the perceived impartiality of their reviews and content. In my opinion, it is important for content creators to disclose such details to maintain trust with their audience. And I think this is important for small YouTubers, for big YouTubers, for growing YouTubers, for any content creator really, that if we are creating content that really is not only our opinion based on something that is given to us to try out, but it's also an advertisement really, because it goes, you know, something was given in return for something else. Well, in that case, I think transparency is even more important. Now, I'm not here to stir up drama, and I definitely don't expect anybody that is watching this video to go hate on these YouTubers that I mentioned. In fact, we should be kind of glad that these people were transparent about certain things, but what about the other people? Why were they not transparent? Are they being told by Krafton that they shouldn't mention that part? And if so, why is that? These are all questions that we must ask ourselves, not to judge others, but just to critically think about these problematics and understand if we are willing to invest our time in something after we consider everything. And I think this is very important because we should be making these decisions informed about the bigger picture, especially when it has to do not only with the ethical concerns of AI stealing jobs and any of that, because you could play devil's advocate and say, hey, I'm just here to have fun. I really don't care about people losing their jobs or whatever. That's, you know, that's just collateral damage. And hey, that's your opinion. I totally respect your opinion. I do not agree, but I totally respect your opinion. You're allowed to discuss this. But the question here isn't even that, because these things regarding generative AI also have to do with your personal information, which we will be discussing a little bit further down in this video. So there were a few features that I found kind of dystopian when trying the character creation, and I am going to mention those. So it has this facial capture feature, which you link your phone and the IP address provided by the game, and then your facial expressions as you are making them transfer over to the game, which I totally regret trying this, because when I realized the implications of it and when I started digging deep and realizing that Krafton is so invested in AI and so proud of it, I wish I could have taken it back, but I can't. The thing is, what this does is track your facial expressions, and your character mimics these expressions. Now, what is the ethical concern regarding this? Well, if you look at the terms of service of the game, basically anything that you use, upload, post, whatever, when using the game, when creating a ZOI, when using their equivalent to the Sims gallery, which is Canvas, whenever you do that, you are giving inZOI free rights to that content. But considering that they have virtual models and that they are quite proud of the fact that these virtual models can perfectly replicate human expressions, yeah, make me think that either ignorance is bliss or wow, we are really living in a dystopian world and please get me my jetpack. I want to leave. You know, when you are not paying for the product, you are the product. And, you know, now we're not paying for the product, but we are the product. I mean, we are testing the game. We are all the data of us testing, of us creating, of us. The only way to save that character is uploading it to Canvas. I'm not telling this to scare you or tell you, do not play inZOI. Please do not play. That's not it. Things that you can take into consideration, you can critically think about these aspects. And when you're critically thinking about these aspects, you can make informed decisions and realize why it matters or maybe why it doesn't matter for you, even with all these implications that I have described and will continue to do so in this video. I've also heard some opinions regarding the fact that inZOI might seem like the perfect game and so perfect that lacks depth. Now, I don't know about that. I'm not going to opinionate on that, but what I can say is that if that's the vibe of the company, well, it's going to translate to the work being done. But this is just an opinion, really. My opinions are my own. They're not doing, my opinions are not here to destroy the reputation of anybody, of any company, or tell anybody to go harass anybody. Please don't do that. Please don't go harass any one of my 20 viewers of my channel. Please. All of you, don't go harass anyone, okay? Please. It's quite interesting, and I do feel bad that a game like Life by You has been canceled. However, we still have Paralives if we're looking for a non-generative AI game, or The Sims 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you don't mind the bugs in Sims 4, then, you can play. I do play it, and, I learned to embrace the bugs and not get too enraged by them. We don't know much about Krafton, except that they have made this game that is quite successful, and the ones that I mentioned earlier in the video. We should perhaps look into considering Krafton's track record, especially with their biggest game, PlayerUnknown Battleground, which is a game that has gained immense popularity but also faced a lot of criticism. And why is that? Well, a lot of users on Reddit in the gaming community have raised issues about the ongoing problems with PlayerUnknown Battleground, including bugs, cheaters, and performance issues. Many felt that Krafton only prioritized fixes when competing games started gaining traction. In addition to this, Krafton's terms of services for their games have faced a lot of scrutiny as well. Players are required to provide extensive personal information, including phone numbers, email addresses, and Steam IDs. This data collection has raised concerns about privacy and how it might be used for marketing purposes. Not only that, but deep learning as well. So, Krafton's updated term of service requires players to provide a considerable amount of personal data, which is a concern, and this data collection appears to be extensive and could be used for various activities, which adds another level of skepticism, especially at a time where we hear a lot about the term data farming. So, what is data farming and why should you care? So, data farming refers to the systematic collection, analysis, and utilization of large amounts of data, typically for the purpose of gaining insights, improving decision-making, and optimizing processes. And this is commonly used in various fields like simulation modeling, big data analysis, and, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. Data farming, while powerful and quite interesting, can raise significant concerns that should not be overlooked. The vast collection of personal and sensitive information can lead to serious privacy issues, resulting in unauthorized data sharing or breaches. Ethically, the use of such data by governments and corporations to influence public opinion or shape policies can be questionable, potentially leading to manipulative practices. Additionally to this, the concentration of data in the hands of a few organizations also centralizes power, raising concerns about transparency and accountability. Using AI in farming clearly raises ethical issues, and these include privacy worries, who owns the data, and how AI may make the gap between data farmers and tech companies bigger. So, using AI in farming rightly needs clear planning. So, looking at the terms of service, there is one little paragraph in the middle of all those words that I really want to highlight. And I will be looking down here because this is where my laptop is and where I have the images I want to show you today. So, you hereby guarantee the company a free, worldwide, non-exclusive, irrevocable, transferable, sub-licensable right to use the user content in connection with the game or services and the promotion thereof, including modifying, adapting, using, reproducing, licensing, publishing, broadcasting, performing, selling, translating, creating, derivative works from, and distributing any user content for any purpose, commercial or otherwise, in any format existing now or in the future. You grant to company the rights to exploit your user content in the game or services, including displaying ads on or within the services or user content, or charging users a fee for access without the entitlement of any payments. This means that Krafton can use one of your creations and put it up for sale. Or, for example, if you generate a pattern that you uploaded from your computer or that you generated within the game, well, they can grab that and hide it behind a paywall for other users to pay for it. For example, does it mean that they're going to do this? No. Do they have the right to do it according to this? Yes. So there's more. There's a lot more. Not going to go into it. Now, there's some questions that have been raised by other users online that are more familiar with Krafton's history than I was before I started this research. So Krafton was founded in 2007. However, their history includes frequent company name changes and shifting studios, which makes it challenging to understand their organizational structure and consistency. And the rapid announcement of inZOI combined with these issues contributes to concerns about the game's development and execution. Another thing that Krafton has not been transparent at all regarding is the uncertainties in inZOI's monetization model. When asked if the game will be free to play or gacha gaming or just free, Krafton has stated that they don't know yet how they will monetize their game, which sounds a bit sketchy, because when you're so close to release, it's pretty much unbelievable to believe that you don't know. So upon hearing that they don't know, what we can do is look at, again, their history. Well, given their history with PlayerUnknown Battleground, this response is quite concerning because PlayerUnknown Battleground has a lot of in-game purchases, and a lot of concerns regarding how these purchases and these things are being carried out. Right now, we can't really make any statements or assumptions, really, but we can contemplate. And there is a possibility that after this initial period of free access, where players are welcome to try the game for a limited time only, the game might implement aggressive monetization strategies such as pay-to-win mechanics or high-priced cosmetics. Remember, one thing that I will never forget ever since I watched the documentary, The Social Dilemma, that sentence that they kept repeating on the documentary: when you are not paying for the product, you are the product. The other thing is how, their actual website has several goals in regards to krafton AI, which is sort of like a research and development section of their company. And the first goal that shows up, I don't know if it's number one, but well, it's the first one that shows up here. Our goal is to create an online virtual friend. So it's not real. It's not an online friend. It's an online virtual friend. Our goal is to build a personalized virtual friend that can engage in close interactions with the player as they play a game. Virtual friends can be humanoid, animal-like, or more, and can exchange realistic and natural interactions with the player. This is wild. This is wild. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying it's wild. It's wild. It really is. Because the premise of the lore of the game is that you are God. Yeah, let that sink in. And now this is just me speculating. This is my opinion, my own opinion, nobody else's. But the fact that their logo is a cute cat, like freaking cute cat, well, it's a very efficient communication strategy to kind of make you feel automatic empathy for the game. Kind of almost makes you overlook reading the terms of service. Why? There's a cute cat. I want to interact in this world where cute cats exist, Another goal of theirs is to live an interactive virtual influencer. So our goal is to build an influencer that can interact with viewers during live stream media. We will use various deep learning technologies during the stream to provide viewers with a new dimension of fun. So, game development with deep learning. Our goal is to embed deep learning technology in the processes used to develop games, reducing production times while at the same time maintaining the same level of quality. So, I just want to add something. Reducing production times and, more importantly, production costs. We innovate the work experience so that developers can focus less on the labor-intensive manual work and more on what matters the most. This is all pretty, but it also means that you're hiring less people, cutting costs, which is really nice in a, company money-driven motivation way, which, yeah, sure, but also we as users and gamers have the right, and we need to learn about these things and be aware of what this implicates. What are the implications of this? So, more deep learning in game. Our goal is to make games more immersive and fun by directly involving deep learning technologies in gameplay. We can present more enjoyable game environments to players by making attempts like adding reinforcement learning-based agent players to games. Yeah. So they also have another section, as you can see here, vision and animation, voice syntheses, language model, multi-model learning, reinforcement learning, and data-centric approach. Which, again, this is what they're all about. So if this is no concern to you, if you have no problem with you know, your data, your images, any of that being used to train to monetize them or any of that. If you have no problem with that, hey, do whatever you want. But remember that, you know, those indie developers that you really like, those small artists that create heartfelt, beautiful content that you might enjoy, well, you're taking away from them in the long term. And a lot of them short term as well. Because whether we like it or not, a lot of generative AI is founded in work that has been created by artists. And you can research and look into that more. I'm not saying this lightheartedly. It doesn't make me happy. I wish I could just enjoy the game and not think about these implications, but I really can't. I need to talk about these things. So what does this mean for inZOI and for you as players? Well, only time will tell. As for me, I am stepping away from inZOI and krafton because of these concerns, and I encourage you to think critically about where you direct your support. I believe that gaming should be about passion and creativity, and it's important to support companies that prioritize these values, such as indie developers. In an industry that is driven by creativity, passion, and human connection. This is my opinion. I know that this decision might in the future cost me views and subscribers and maybe even growth opportunities in this channel, but I am not willing to negotiate on my personal values and what I consider ethical. Personally, I rather stand by my principles and support indie developers who are keeping the spirit of creativity alive, even if it means potentially taking a hit. Not only small indie developers, but also I will continue supporting The Sims because I love The Sims, and for what it's worth, at least it's not including generative AI in their current games. And that just means a lot to me, honestly, because you can still make a great game, fun game, a cute game without using these tools, and it personally makes me go to bed at night more in peace. So I really hope that this video has helped you clarify some questions that you may have had and provided valuable insight on certain aspects of utilizing generative AI in gaming specifically. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and also let me know, after listening to this, are you still excited for inZOI, or have these issues made you reconsider? Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!